Welcome back.
Oh, we're going?
Oh, yeah. Doug's Village Fantasy Football League, Week 11.
Vitamin B12 pen. Check
Yeah,
that
you
out.
remember that back in Vegas, vitamin B12.
Yeah.
Good time. Need a little oxygen bar to make me feel a little right at home.
God
Maybe
damn.
Take a little bump in the bathroom.
I need to chill out because today was one crazy fucking day. I felt like it was an NFL Insider earlier today. Just scanning the league over and over.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to come next. It was,
Trying to talk to people, yeah.
I was at work and I was trying to focus on work, but at the same time, I wasn't focusing on work whatsoever. I remember I called Dylan in the middle of like a shift and I was just like, dude, like, what is happening right now? And Dylan's like, I was like, have you heard about this trade? Have you heard about what who this person's talking to? And Dylan's like, yeah. And then I was talking to Fresh and I was talking to Gobby today. I talked to COD. I talked to Shimer. I talked to Trone, Cal.
I think I texted you back and said this is the craziest trading spree I've ever seen. I was like, I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, it's the draft dollars
has heightened everything.
Yeah,
it's completely changed the entire game.
Yeah, we've seen teams obviously tanking, going down that rabbit hole of just pulling it for next year, and then we've also seen teams that are trying to solidify themselves, and then you've seen teams that are just riding their squads. They're not making too many big moves or anything like that, and just staying put and seeing, thinking that they got the team that they can do it. So you got a lot of different strategies going on right now.
Yeah, obviously.
I feel a lot worse about my chances now. Last 2 weeks scored over 100 points. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling prime. Going against Mav this week, and then it just started it all. Mav sitting at $8 for Nyheim Hines, and then right after that, it was like a trickle-down effect.
Oh
everybody was just like,
literally,
yeah, here's this and this and this, and I was just like, it just got to the point where I was like, for one, I thought, is COD going to have any players left?
Well, to be fair, too, actually, and this, I actually felt dumb about this. Not hitting up COD after he literally came out and said, okay, I'm selling the farm, hit me up, boys. I should have been like, my first instinct should have been like, I'm on the horn. Like, I'm already texting COD to get there.
Yeah,
but instead, I literally waited, and then yesterday, I was looking on my phone, like, finishing on my lunch break, and
I was driving.
I see one trade go through, and it's Brian for the DK Metcalf and Ronald Jones, $20, and I was like, oh, shit, it started. And then literally all of a sudden I'm driving back to work and I'm looking on my phone, fucking, here comes Garrett, here comes Nut, there's Calvin swooping in for the final 10. I mean, COD's house got cleaned up like fucking mopping up the floor. I don't know, man. Shit was crazy. Never seen anything like that.
No, it was, I just kept seeing things over and over again. And I remember like at one point I was just like, okay, I gotta get a hold of COD. And like, I didn't know what number to throw out. I just threw out like, okay, I'll do like $8, I'll do like $10 and like Gerald Henderson or something like that. And he was just like, nah, not enough. And I was just like, what? And then the next thing I know, he does that trade.
Those prices were getting driven, dude.
Well, and then he did that trade with Chase Edmonds and $8 for Nick Chubb. And I was just like,
yeah.
For one, it pissed me off that I was like, okay, mine wasn't too far-fetched, so I don't know what COD was talking about. I don't think that Gerald Henderson and Chase Edmonds are two really hot commodities going on right now, and I was offering 2 more draft dollars. So I'm just saying, but at the same time,
it went to for Nick Chubb.
It went to fucking thug.
There you go, Gare.
Yeah, seriously,
I fucking
Nick
hate
Chubb.
It, but at the same time, I can't hate on it. So.
Dude comes back from being injured for like 4 or 5 weeks, and he comes back and has just a juicer of a game.
Yeah,
and then it was just like, oh, $8.
I tried trading for him a couple weeks ago when he was still on IR, and COD's like, I need him for the playoff push. Well, you pushed yourself right out the door, my boy.
Yeah, but you slammed it shut. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, goner. But
that's another thing. Is just like the playoff implication. Like, just took a wild turn. I felt like this was just like the Wild West, man. And it was just like, who was gonna rob the bank first, man?
Well, obviously everybody knows at this point that I invested everything.
Yeah, you win.
I had Fresh go pick up the dump truck, stick his players in it, and back it up into my farm, and drop them off in the hog trough. I'm gonna pick them out and see where it goes. But you know what? The thing is, everybody's strategy is just gonna be different. how they want to go about it. Obviously, if you're not going to make the playoffs, why wouldn't you sell your players? I feel like unless
I would just say
you
this.
just don't do it to the point where you're not worse than B-Johns.
Yeah, I would just.
You're battling B-Johns for the Sackos.
The problem is like this could play in Bijan's favor in the sense that like, okay, he didn't really liquidate anybody from his team. Like, he was just an idiot and didn't play Adam Thielen this weekend. Like, I don't know who the fuck. Like, I'm pretty sure Adam Thielen's first catch of the game had more points than Emmanuel Sanders.
His second catch was probably a tutty, and his third was probably a tutty
like,
too.
you
Dude.
know,
It was
there's
just like,
you know it's gonna be
wasn't
like
going to Dalvin Cook. I can tell you that.
it's a
much.
rivalry game. You know Adam Thielen's gonna get the looks.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know what Bijan is doing. I feel like he goes in there at the beginning of the week. He just sets his lineup, and then he doesn't look, and then he closes his eyes, and then Sunday's over, and he's like, did I win? Did I lose? But it's more so like,
He's just sleeping.
how much did I lose by?
It's probably playing WoW.
I just don't know. I'm like, but that's
No.
the thing about it. Yeah, you just want to make sure you don't get to
So
Bijan's level.
obviously, too, we're doing this episode a little bit differently. We were talking about it right before we decided to film, and it's like, dude, there's too much juice that happened today.
I don't want to talk about people's matchups. Like, there's key matchups this week, and we'll touch on it a little bit.
We'll
but I'm
get
not.
into the matchups later, but
Well,
we're not going to do ranker
no.
roulette, no wankers. We're not on T-Pain's trains. We got to talk about the shit that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Because
Last night my head was spinning. I didn't know what was going on. I felt so good going into this week. I was like, man, my team is looking good, dude. Like, you know
I could
what?
feel better,
I
honestly.
could get like one more piece or something like that, and then it was just like the pieces were gone. They were on the teams that already are making playoff pushes, and they're not going to trade anybody.
Yeah.
They're just going to give up
Listen,
draft dollars now.
And actually I kind of want to touch on that for a second because I was thinking about this, how maybe this is discouraging people from trading traditionally, right? Just players v. players.
Oh yeah, I don't think you could offer a player now without
I think
adding
right
that
now,
dollar sign behind
yeah,
it.
I think that if there's no dollars put in there, I mean, it depends who you're trading with, but if you're talking playoff teams versus playoff teams, right, then why couldn't you still be able to trade? Because, like, we only have a day and a half now?
Well, then, okay, this is the most like comical thing for me is that everybody in here shits on the Warriors. The Warriors do this and the Warriors do that. Man, I fucking saw literally people out there snaking through the grass, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah. You know, Gary was out there, Gary's been slithering out in the swamp for too long.
yeah, he was. Just,
And then he just, like, slowly started creeping, crawling out.
This was
And he's like, coming for the playoffs. 'cause
okay. Think about this. This
I
was,
cannot wait for week
this
13, my boy.
This was the
Oh,
year
yeah.
that Thug didn't make the playoffs.
Who says
This-
he's going to?
No, I know he still has a chance of not making the playoffs, but we were all like bona fide thinking, like we were like, you know, for sure Thug is on the outside
Yeah.
looking in. And then guess what? Nick Chubb. Well, first we start out with Zeke Elliott.
Isn't it all too ironic, too, that 2 years ago, Gare also traded for Nick Chubb for Maverick at a last-second trade at the deadline and ended up propelling him towards a championship?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, it was. That's the only thing that frustrates me is like, I felt like I made some moves this year that were questionable. I got rid of Russell Wilson, Julio Jones. Deontay Johnson has outscored Julio Jones since I traded for him. So like that was a good thing. Aaron Rodgers has been a top 5 QB since I traded for him. Yeah, he's not Russell Wilson, but he's also like he has one of the better playoff schedules out there.
Yeah.
So I feel like I made moves, and I just like I don't know if I should be kicking myself for not just sending out a bunch of money, or should I just not bitch because I didn't do it?
Well, here's the thing. When you really look at it, I mean, yeah, there's been some auction money being thrown around in some trades earlier on. Very few and far between.
It was like bets.
There were, yeah, a lot of it was bets and like really low bets too. Cal buying Zeke for $15 in the Jacobs trade
Was
there.
the biggest thing.
That was the first one to really kick it off. But I don't think anybody was really thinking about it because everyone still has their mind on playoffs. Like we gotta fight for contention here.
Yeah.
So nobody was selling at that point. But now, yeah, when you get towards this point now, at the end of the trade deadline, people know they're out. It's like, well, it's time to sell, or you don't sell, and you just don't make the playoffs. What would you rather have, the money or not?
Yeah, I feel like right now, like this also I felt. I said I was thinking this year. I was like, okay, man, this is the year that Nut and Thug drafted not good.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like this is like maybe it's the change of the helm. You know what I'm saying? Like the change of the tide, dude. Like it was a full moon and here came fucking Gare in fucking like Wolverine mode, dude. Just like he just came out. He's like, "Roar!"
Yeah.
And fucking here was COD, and he's like $8 for Chubb.
I know.
And Thug's like, my season, it's here. I'm making the playoffs now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna solidify Thug in the playoffs, but I'm gonna say it's really fucking hard to miss the playoffs with Josh Jacobs and Nick Chubb.
Okay, well, so, with that being said, let's kind of segue into. I want to talk about these trades a little bit. Let's just dissect them. Or let's just run through, actually, because there's not much to dissect. A lot of it's just buying, right?
Yeah.
So let's just go through them,
Well,
the big ones.
Okay, so let's start out with the big thing. Dylan and I were curious on. People were spending so much money. We're like, how much money was actually spent? There was $162 so far this year that has been spent. Some of those were earlier in the year, and we still have 5 pending because of that bet with Jesse and Cal. But $162 was put into trades this year. Like, that's almost somebody's full entire auction. Like, there's some people out there that I don't know how they're going to draft next year. like I don't know. Like,
Moneyball.
You're definitely going to have to pull a Billy Bean on this one.
Shout out to the Podley, but so after listening to Podley the other day, I was like, man, I haven't seen Moneyball in a long time, so I watched it the other night, and of course I'm doing fantasy research while I'm watching it. Got very inspired. So coming into this, you know, fuck it, let's talk about these trades. Let me talk about my trade a little bit, because I'm sure a lot of you were curious to that Wilson on Wilson action there. First of all, I realized that with the COD trade there, didn't get there in time. And so it was like, looking at it, I was not going to bitch about not making a trade, being able to, but at the same time, it was like, okay, who's the next person to start selling? Who's going to start selling? Who are the players that I even want to buy? You know, some of the teams, B. Johns' team, maybe Adam Thielen, but not really.
Yeah. Second, I got some waiver wire stuff I gotta look at.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll just keep ranting here.
Yeah, perfect.
So here's the thing. And then looking at, I don't know, B. Johns's, Gobby's. Yeah, James Conner's all right, but you know, would you actually really want to spend some money? The thing was, I thought to myself, I have to. It's just like what you said earlier in the group chat. If you can't beat him, join him. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, dude, it's now or never. And looking at Fresh's team, after Brian made that trade, got DK Metcalf and Ronald Jones, I just don't see Caden winning this week. And he's
out.
mathematically out.
No,
He'd have a 7%. I looked it up. It was a 7% chance that he actually makes the playoffs. And so obviously you have to have a lot of things fall your way. So it's like, well, dude, you got to make the move now. And so, oh, did I know what kind of deals were being made out there?
Yeah, trust me, I was. I was hitting up Fresh all day. I was like, "Who's doing it?" And I already threw out a couple names, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know they're a part of it."
Yeah, I'm sure. And the thing is, there's no. I don't even care what anybody says about the Wilson on Wilson, because Fresh would love to see either one of us lose.
Yeah, I would like
more than
this.
anything.
Yes.
But even if you don't believe that, the fact of the matter is, I still shoveled out fucking $44 for a banged up Chris Carson. Hopefully, I mean, obviously I'm banking on he come back and plays and healthy, you know, has a nice playoff schedule. Cooper Kupp wasn't really done a whole lot, but I got Kyler Murray, of course.
Yes, that's your prize hog.
That's the prize hog.
Well, regardless,
so
Devin Singletary is about the same amount of value as Jonathan Taylor at this point.
I'm going to. My whole thing, the way I look at it now is, yeah, I'm invested all in this year. If I don't win a championship, I'm fucked. But it's gonna have to go down the Moneyball way, and I can pretty much tell you right now, as much studying as I will put into it, I still don't think I'll be able to even maybe get a playoff team that could squeak in, but it's gonna be tough fucking going because you can't get that number one hog like everybody else can get it.
I think.
So you got to hit on a lot. The nice part is we have keepers now, and so
Yeah, you got to take that into consideration. You know, like
you throw a lot of flyers out there, and maybe you land a juicy keeper that you nickel and dime.
now, like what I want to know is like, what do you think was the most like questionable trade, or the one that didn't make the most sense to you at all?
Man,
I can easily tell you mine.
go ahead. Let me look.
Gabi and Trone. Like I just don't
I was
understand.
actually just
How
looking
does
at that
Nick
one, too.
Chubb? How does Nick Chubb go for $8? Okay, Nick Chubb goes for $8. DK Metcalf and Ronald Jones goes for $20. Okay, let's think about this. What else? Russell Wilson, number 2 QB in the league right now, in terms of fantasy points, goes for $12.
With Koo though, you can't forget about that.
Yeah,
And I just recently learned that is Young Wei Koo, not Young Ho.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. But
I much prefer Young Ho.
I just don't understand. I don't understand what Gabi was doing to Trone at this point, where Trone was like, "Yes, Austin Eckler, $24." Like the dude was
I
already
know.
overpaid. We already overbid for him in the
Well-
draft. Like his $66 or something like that.
So, and the thing I saw too, I mean,
Austin Eckler went for $90 if you think about it in draft capital.
that's insane.
$90 in one season for Austin Eckler.
Yeah,
And he's literally
He
has
also
a
isn't-
hamstring that's like flopping like this.
it's that limp dick.
Yeah,
Limpy.
I thought it was so funny when Nut on the Podly was saying like, "Yeah, dude, we saw a video of him running a straight line, like really getting back to it, like." Yeah, dude, like this guy is known for just doing like the craziest jukes, getting out of all these crazy jams on
Yeah.
the backfield, and for some reason we think a straight line is like he's on his way.
He's a perfect player for Trone. Just literally,
Him and
Austin
Charlie doing
Eckler-
calisthenics together, like.
Austin Eckler probably wakes up and is like, "Dude, I think I slept with my hands wrong. I don't know if I could play today, coach. They're cramping."
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay,
I wonder how much stretching he did before he did that straight line, you know? Because Trone has to do at least an hour of stretching before he gets
yeah,
to game a ball.
Trone does a full, like, he puts in his 80s, like, VHS tape and gets his calisthenics.
He's got that Mr. Grosjean, Mr. Love mark, like,
Yeah.
actually going. He's like, all right, guys, we're going to do the survival run today. We got to
Yeah.
loosen up.
No, it's true.
That was my biggest, like, I just didn't understand that.
I was actually going to go for that one, too. But I will have to say, COD trading away Nick Chubb for Edmonds. And Scam, who gives a fuck about
Yeah,
Scam?
what? I don't understand.
Why is Scam even on a team right now?
I don't
And he's
know.
gone.
I don't know what. I don't understand how all these players that you have marked down there went for more than Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
He's a RB1, bona fide RB1.
He could be
Was
possibly
just
top
str-
5. Like, he maybe could creep in
He
top
could
5.
be a league winner.
Yeah.
He's a league
And
winner.
he goes for $8. Yeah. When Garrett said scrum diddly, I was licking my lips. I was like, yeah, $8 for a Chubb. I'll be paying for that.
I got a full Chubb if I got that, dude.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
Full on Chubb.
I'm getting stroked if I get that, dude. You're in the right spot.
I just don't understand. $8 dude. $8.
So, yeah, I was gonna say the Eckler one because Eckler's not even.
He's not even playing.
Well, yeah, he's not supposed to come back. They're shooting for week 13. So you're telling me he plays week 13? Who the hell knows how he's gonna even play in his first game back for like?
Does
2
Trone
months?
even make it to the playoffs?
Well, who knows? We'll find out because there's a lot of shakeup in here. I
All
don't know.
right.
Teams are looking different.
All
Nobody
right,
looks the same.
Maybe that's a good transition into basically it's talking about the playoff implications going
yeah,
on
let's
right
go
now and
playoff
such.
push.
Like right now, like there's literally only what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's essentially like 8 teams that we should be talking about right now. Like, or is that? Yeah, that's 8. Yeah. So basically, number 4 we have Jaden. He's sitting above the pack right there. I believe he's 6-4 if I'm not mistaken.
Well, let's just touch on. I like it when we talk about every team, so we can run through the big ones and then focus in on it real quick.
What do you mean?
So let's just say.
Well, we're not even gonna talk about the top 3 because they have a 100% chance of making it.
Oh,
like,
I see.
Like
Oh,
they
I see
literally,
where we're at.
like they literally are gonna make it.
No, I know they
like
are.
Jaden and Nut both have 100% chance. However, like that could easily change this year. It's just based off historicals. So historically speaking, yes, they're gonna make it. But this season has been different.
It's statistically impossible, though. It's not that.
What do you mean?
It's just going off historical analysis.
Oh yeah. So essentially, like if they lost their last 3 games, they would probably be bumped out.
Well, Nutt's gonna lose this week after my.
So Jaden and Nut are sitting up there pretty at 6-4, which means that they have a 100% chance historically to actually make the playoffs. Nut has done this in the most ugly, disgusting fashion I've ever seen in my entire life.
Are we starting? Did you already talk about Jaden's team? Or are we starting there?
Well, no, I'm saying that Jaden and Nut both, but I'm not really going to speak on Jaden. Like Jaden's team, like I said,
let's see. So Jaden, 6-4. Let's go take a look at his schedule.
Well, this week he plays against Fresh, not Fresh. Who the hell?
He plays against B. Johns.
I didn't even write their.
Willie Sloppy Seconds.
I didn't even write their game down. I think I didn't write that game down because I was like, it's not going to keep matchups. Like he's like, it's going against B. Johns. Like I forget that B. Johns plays.
Yeah.
He has
B. Johns has been quietly making moves. He's been selling some of his team. He does what he needs to do.
I don't think he's doing anything at all.
No, but okay, well he doesn't do anything at all. But I also think that B. Johns is aware enough.
B. Johns is the most annoying fantasy player. He's that guy that literally does absolutely nothing and then all of a sudden like just comes out of nowhere and just sends a bunch of random bullshit in the chat.
Yeah.
And he's like, the fucking Sacco doesn't mean anything now. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I think B. Johns...
Whoever wins Sacco this year is fucked.
I think B. Johns is invested because he needs to be, because he's a league member, and he's one of the founding league members. But he also... His team got shit on, dude. But also, he could have made some better trades.
What do you mean? He lost Saquon Barkley. Yeah, that freaking sucks, bro.
He lost Alvin Kamara, too.
Well, yeah, he traded Alvin Kamara and he got fucking nothing. If he would have waited,
he got my sloppy seconds. What are you talking about?
Think about this. Think about this. Let's hypothetically speaking. Let's think about this. If B. Johns didn't trade Alvin Kamara, he could have easily traded him for like $40 in auction dollars later on in the year, dude. If he waited until this time.
Well, if I lost last week, that's what I was doing. Alvin was going for a big penny, boys. I was gonna be ripping head.
Oh, I would have been definitely going for him because I need a second RV. These waivers go through yet?
I don't know. I didn't even put one in, dude.
Well, I definitely got some in because I'm trying to make a.
Well, the problem is, they just traded for all these players. So.
Oh man, that sucks. I guess you just did it a different way.
Yeah, I just bought them all.
When you don't have fab dollars, you might as well go with your auction dollars.
Well, I spent my fab too on that trade.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, Jaden's team.
Jaden plays Fresh, and then who's week 13? Let's finish it up here.
Well, okay, he plays Fresh. Then week 12 he plays. Let me see real quick. Week 12.
No, week 12 he plays Fresh.
Wait, who's he play week 11? Oh, B. Johns.
So
B. Johns, Fresh.
And then he plays Brian.
He has like probably one of the easiest schedules to the next 2 weeks. If he doesn't win these weeks,
just say.
Then it means that he needed to have made a trade beforehand, and he was way too content on his squad.
Yeah.
Because these next 2 games are against trash teams. You got one that liquidated, and you got the other one that's just been fucking ass for a long time. Yeah, doo-doo.
Yeah, doo-doo head. Not doo-doo head Slayton.
So I think Jaden gets a walk in the park, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, let's go Nut then.
Yeah.
Okay. So this week, Nut's playing against you. So
what's our historical? I need to see this.
Nut's got 9 wins. You got 5.
I mean, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
This is gonna be a hard one for Nut.
We've always had a good rivalry. 9-5. That's nice. You've also beat me a couple times in the playoffs.
All right,
and
then the week after that, Nut has fucking COD, dude. COD actually posed a threat for most people. Like I remember thinking to myself, COD could do it.
He's like one piece away. Dude. Or if he would have kept Chubb too. I think if he just waited one more week, I think COD actually.
He rattles off 3 straight victories.
Maybe, dude.
Easily.
Russell, Chubb comes back into full form. You're rocking out James Robinson and Ronald Jones in the flex. And you have Julio Jones and DK Metcalf.
And
COD did have a team. I'm just talking about it out loud. He just completely liquidated. Like, I get it, dude. Oh man, I don't know. Wait.
Well, there we go. There I got Michael Pittman. And nobody's outbid me. I just wasted all my draft dollars today, boys.
You mean your fab?
Or whatever those are, yeah. I forgot I dropped Perryman.
Well, anyways, alright, so. Yes. I like how this is live while we have that.
I needed this. I needed some of these
You
things.
tell that we filmed this late. Perfectly on Wilson time. Alright, so who does Nut. Where did Nut go? And then he plays Mav at the end of the year.
So
realistically,
Nut has a harder shot of making the playoffs.
Let's say loses 2, 6-6, gets 7-6, beats COD.
Well, if he beats COD, but he loses to you and he loses to
Gare.
then he's 6-7.
Mav. Excuse me.
Wait, is he 7-6? Yeah, he's 7-6.
Yeah, he's 7-6. He's 6-4 right now.
All right, so Nut has a good shot because he's got that COD in there. That's one thing that really pisses me off is we're gonna go into some more matchups here soon, and some people have just the stupidest schedules. Like I fucking hate this. All right, let's go to Trone. So Trone, he's playing against COD this week. Like anytime I talk about playing against COD now, I feel like I just don't even.
You don't think so? Can we just look at COD's team for like a hot
He doesn't
second?
have the worst team, but also at the same time, he has nobody on there that I'm like, oh, they're gonna go off. You know, like
I mean,
he's rocking Cam Newton.
I know he's rocking Cam Newton.
He wasn't winning with Russell Wilson.
That is crazy to me, dude. If you really think about his team, I really don't actually understand how he didn't get like to 5-5 at least. DK Metcalf, Julio Jones, James Robinson. I know he hasn't had Nick Chubb, but he literally just got him back. Damn. Anyways, well, looking at it now, I think it's actually gonna be a closer game than people think.
He does have the most points scored against him now in the league, though.
Yeah, it's true. He's had some bad luck.
But still,
sure.
he's scored a shit ton of points, too.
Mhm.
And he does have the most points that he possibly could have scored.
He's got that Young Hoku in there now. That running back one.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But, okay, so Trone's playing against COD this week.
I could actually see Trone losing. I think COD's team is sneakier than you think as far as putting up a fight. Like any given Sunday.
I don't know. I just feel like after this week, I don't know who's on his team, so I just imagine it's shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
But at the same time, you never know what happens. I don't think Trone's team is all juiced up to what it's supposed to be, so.
Well, I gotta say, I don't know if anybody. It wasn't really talked about too much. Maybe I just wasn't saying anything in the group chat because I didn't want to jinx anything. But Trone and I's matchup, people were catching that. It was what? If it wasn't for Alvin Kamara putting up his 27-point day, and that Drew Brees trade really just fucking me in the ass. So I put up 74. Trone was at 58, and had Cook and Allen Robinson left to play, and had Anthony Miller.
No.
Dude, at one point I was looking at that when the game first started last night, and it said it had a 4% chance to win, and I was like, "Well, it's all right. We'll just see what happens." Watching it, Dalvin Cook gets that 34-yard gain in the fourth quarter, and they call it back on a flag. It's just, yeah. Anthony Miller's out there returning punts. Oh my god. Anyways,
I'm rocking three defenses right now.
I was selling the farm if I lost last week. I mean, that was it. I was done.
All right.
But then I bought it.
So Trone, then he has Mavericks next week. That could be a juicer. That's going to be a big time one because
Who's he got?
he's got Mav in week 12.
Mm.
Man, Trone's got a harder because Trone and I played week 13. Trone's got a hard road to make it. Like he's got tough matchups. That's all I'm gonna say.
Who's he got in that? Oh, you at the end?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
All right. Let's go to so next we're gonna look at you. So you're playing obviously Nut this week. That's a toss up. Could be two.
Let's get a Nut. Big week, bud.
I think not having that Russell Wilson's really gonna help out. So I think that's the only reason. Like his running backs are still a booty hole, but
It'll be interesting. Chris Carson plays.
then Nut plays COD. That's like I said. I just don't even know.
Man, I'm feeling good, Nut.
And then Nut goes against Mav. So there's a lot of fucking top tier teams going against each other at the end here.
Yeah.
So.
I get 2 of them.
Were we just talking about Nut?
Yeah.
Why was I talking about Nut? We're talking about you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so you go against.
We just don't want.
You go against Jesse.
We don't want Nut to get the playoffs that bad. Him and Doug, both Gary and Nut. I mean, they made it the most years. I love to see both of them out of it for once.
All right. So this is the thing about it. The last week is a bunch of juicy matchups, and the reason why I say this, me against Trone, Batman versus Scheimer,
Yeah.
Calvin versus Fresh. Fresh is already kind of out of it, but I don't know, man. Steven might lose some seeding here. If Steven's team's been performing the way he's been performing, I think it gets a little bit better. Miles Sanders is juicy. Julio Jones is better than what he had before, but I don't know. I feel like Calvin's team just doesn't like him, so they just don't like
He's
to
got
score.
Garrett this week, B. John's the next, and then.
Well, I'm saying the only thing about it is the last week, week 13, that could be an implication for flex seeding.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And then after that, we have Nut versus Mav. Big time. And then, see, look at that. Guru against fucking B. Johns. Like, Guru's projected 66 right now in week 13, and B. Johns is projected.
Gubby's got my welfare, and B. John's got my sloppy seconds. Man.
You guys are,
That's the life.
you guys are going against each other week 13. It's written in stone. It's like it was like God just came down and was like, this is how week 13 shall play off for DFFL.
You guys are shit.
Toilet bowl now. And then COD against Archie, and then we got you versus Thug. So week 13, depending on how it goes, because I think a lot of teams, we're just going to skip over some of these. A lot of these teams can get to the point where it could be like a 1-1 over the next 2 weeks. And then it comes down to that last and final week in which, maybe Thug loses the Dill. Freaking Thug goes down. Maybe, maybe Jesse pulls out 2 straight victories. And then, boom, right at the very end, Jesse goes up against COD and takes that victory.
I don't want to lose sight of Jesse's team either because I feel like he does have some hogs.
I said last week that I thought Jesse's team was going downhill. I've actually said it last week and the week before. And
I'll tell you one thing. No Drew Brees throwing that Michael Thomas. No, Jameis Winston. If you want to back up, fuck it. If he's going to throw a couple picks, whatever. At least he's slinging that rock.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's not the worst thing for Jesse.
Yeah, look at Steven. He picked up that no mayo at Santa Fe sauce. Have fun, my boy. He's actually been pretty good. Yeah, so there's a lot of fantasy implications going on. The only team in this one that we're talking about that I don't think is like even relevant anymore is Fresh's team. So out of these 8 teams, Jaden, Nut, Trone, you, Thug, myself, and Jesse, there's 7 teams right there that I think have abilities to make the playoffs. There's a lot of implications going the next 3 weeks. And then I think there's just Fresh, who he sold the farm. Kyler Murray was scoring all of his points.
Now he'll be scoring all of mine.
Like, see, Fresh was talking to me today, and he's like, I've scored more points than you this year or something like that, 30 more points. I said, dude, you had that 1 week where you went off for like 145 points. I was like, you take that away, you haven't scored more than me. So I'm like, getting rid of Kyler Murray, because I shit you not, I can show you the text message. Fresh said, because I was trying to offer him a trade for some people and a little bit of draft cash, and he says, oh, this trade I'm about to do is going to keep me in playoff contention, and I'm going to basically bank out all the way on my draft dollars. And I was like, well, damn, dude. I was like, what are you doing? And then I see the trade go through with you guys, and he's getting Matty Ice back. He's getting Jalen Rieger, Jonathan Taylor. I was like, dude, where's the playoff contention coming from?
Okay, so in all fairness with it, I wanted to keep Jonathan Taylor. He would not let me fucking keep him. And not that I don't have faith in my boy Ahmed, but the trade was going back and forth all day. I also was picking up on what his offer is getting, and so my offer had to keep going higher and higher.
Yeah.
I didn't even actually get what I wanted. I was actually I was like, hey, you know what? I'll do 47. Give me Drake, Carson, and Murray. And originally it was agreed upon, but then I was like, man, that's a fucking big ass trade. Like, I don't know if I want to just go all in like that. Like, I had some nerves for sure.
Yeah.
So I withdraw the trade, and then we just kept talking about it, and like, yeah, I knew Garrett was offering up fatty amount for him, and I was like, sorry, Garrett, can't do it. Got to have it done for me, because I know. That's what I'm saying. I will sacrifice, even if this doesn't pan out for me. Even if I take Garrett out with me, I cannot let Garrett get an all-star studded team, especially after getting Nick Chubb for $8. That one just rubbed me so good.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll see how it pans out.
Also, I want to touch base on playoffs, and just because Steven and I have this nice little thing where we always have to shit on each other a little bit. Calvin just been talking about, and you guys have seen me battling back and forth with this guy. He's just like, I haven't been managing the last 4 weeks. Like, dude is literally winning with nothing. No points. No points at all. Like, it's not like his team's just been gone or absent or something like that. It's the fact that his opponents are scoring so little of points that B-Johns could be 4-0. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, the amount of points that are being put up is not good. Kind of like how...
There's been a couple of rough weeks for teams, though.
There's been a couple of rough weeks, but at the same time, like, you have somebody, like, you basically don't just sit there and be like, well, it's not like, my team's looking good, blah, 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 like, I'm feeling good about my team. It's like...
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a possibility that Steven could have lost the last 3 games.
Oh, I know.
If he lost the last 3 games, what are we talking? What's he at right now? 7-3. We're talking about, we're 4-6.
Yeah.
So I just say a little bit of luck, but like Steven's team now, I like this team.
As
Steven
would
forward.
say, well, it didn't happen that way. So what?
Well, exactly.
What are we arguing?
But at the same time, it's like it didn't happen that way.
Matter.
But you also can't just sit there and defend yourself, being like, well, my team's a hog. Like. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, Your team wasn't a hog. Yes, you won, but it wasn't because it was a hog. It was just because of luck. But also, I want to say, Kelvin, even if you make the playoffs, you have 4 wins and 7 losses historically in the playoffs. You are the worst record by far in the playoffs out of top tier teams. Like, I don't have a losing record. Dylan doesn't have a losing record. Nut doesn't.
Thug definitely doesn't.
Thug doesn't have a losing record. You have a losing record. Also, this year you posted the lowest score out of anybody in a week, and you have the lowest W, which brings me back to my point. Your team isn't that good. All right. I was just marking it.
Well, we'll see where it goes there.
We will see where it goes, right? Trade has been completed.
Trade has been completed.
What the hell is this?
We got live action.
Why?
Just in from Adam Schefter.
Why is COD continuously trading for these quarterbacks?
Huh. Interesting trade. It's always good to see something else kind of come in, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Ooh, I was ready for another.
Well, yeah, with a COD, you can't trade any more draft dollars, so.
No, it makes sense.
I don't even know right now.
Well, anyways.
Okay, that's a pretty irrelevant trade. It just gives Mav his... Actually, that really pisses me off. Because if Aaron Jones doesn't play, then here comes Jamal Williams.
Oh, yeah. You know what I realized?
I have the hardest path. That's
No,
what I was going to say. I play against Mav.
Okay.
Then I play against Shimer.
Okay.
And then I play against Trone.
Okay. I get Nut, Jesse, Gare.
Yeah. I'm playing against Shimer.
Okay, Shimer, yeah.
Best record in the league. I'm playing against Maverick, number 2 in the power rankings. And then I'm playing against Trone, who's freaking... What is he, tied with us right now? 5-5?
I'm cleaning house,
6-4.
I'm going to start eliminating some people. Starting with Nut this week. We'll see, though.
I'm coming for... You know what?
Man,
you know what, man? I didn't buy.
I was talking about my hot rod, and I just fucking like.
I didn't buy my squad.
I'm like
I didn't
Vin
spend
Diesel
these
out
dollars.
there, fucking putting my muscle car on.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're back. What were we saying?
You were saying you were gonna be driving out there in grave digger.
Oh yeah, grave digger.
Grave digger.
Fucking shoveling everybody into the ditch. Man, dude, I don't even care. I sold out to get every piece I felt like I needed for my squad. Oh man.
I'm looking to buy. Somebody give me a running back.
I'm blazing. Man, I got the new paint job, the fucking souped up engine, just.
I feel like I'm cruising in like a fucking Ford Focus right now, dude.
Oh, dude.
I just feel like I'm feeling super safe, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, yeah, dude.
I'm not even
like,
in a car
if somebody
anymore, dude.
somebody hits me, man. I have a 5-star crash rating, but then guess what? At the same time, somebody fucking hits me, I'm totaled.
Yeah.
I'm totaled, man. And that's what you guys did this week. COD, you did that.
Yeah.
You totaled me.
I don't know, man. I think I turned into Elon Musk and built myself a rocket ship and am flying across the country right now. I'm not even going across the country. I'm going outer space.
Just rat racing it, man.
Yeah, I am. Man, it feels good. And then Moneyball next year, Brad Pitt style.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll just see how it turns out and everything, you know.
I'm pretty excited though. I mean, I have to say again, this was the craziest trading frenzy I've ever seen in this league. I mean, I had like anxiety earlier because there was so much stuff going on, and especially after yesterday, like just seeing all those trades with COD, it really was like, all right, dude, I gotta fucking move. Like the time is now.
Yeah.
And go.
Well, trust me, I definitely felt that.
And I still think trade deadline's not for another day and a half, and so I'm sure that we're gonna get a couple more trades in there.
I'm on my phone consistently looking at what I can possibly do for my squad. There's not a day going by that I'm not like, okay, what can I fucking do?
I have to say that the auction draft dollars are huge. I actually did not really. I mean, we talked about this before, like hypothetically, but now that we're actually here, where these teams are selling off and just like everybody's becoming an all-star team now. You look around, teams don't look the same at all. I don't know who's where and what the fuck is even happening.
Yeah, I look at people's teams and I just look.
I
I'm
woke
like,
up
all
this
right,
morning.
Stud. I'm looking at. Okay, let's take an example. Scheimer's team. I'm looking at his team and I'm like, okay, cool. So let's take a look at this. All right, so he's got Lamar Jackson. Oh, wait, he's got Lamar Jackson. Oh, okay, let's go down one more. Okay, oh, cool. Who is it? Who does he have?
Are you actually asking me?
Yeah.
Dude, he's got fucking Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, Ronald Jones now,
Joe Mixon. TJ Hawkinson, who's been teaching. Like,
yeah. It's kind of crazy, though. That's what I'm saying, like, some of those trades that happened before, especially with some of the draft dollars and stuff, like, when I look back on the A.J. Brown trade that I made with C-Vin, which I think is just so hilarious because I'm seeing all this Antonio Brown shit starting to come out now. Man. Anyways, and then, you go back to, like, even the Zeke trade. That was a big time trade. Actually, $15 was a lot. We were really sure.
I honestly feel like, okay, so like a lot of people were asking me today, like basically, oh, you're selling off your team because you traded for Zeke, and it's like, I don't think they're as big of a fallback, like when it comes from Miles Sanders to Zeke. Like Zeke is still a guy out there that can still, if he finds his ground, just start teaching. Sanders has been injured a lot, and I got $8 draft dollars for him. I don't think I really went back too far, but at the same time, I gained a little bit of momentum for next year. Yeah. And then at the same time, I don't know, like that didn't seem.
I didn't think it was a terrible trade.
No,
I thought it was pretty
and
fair.
I got the handcuff too, so like it felt fine for me because I felt like I have.
Yeah.
No,
there's some trades that were fun. I would say Mavs and Brandon's, Nyheim Hines $8 trade. I mean, you better have some faith in that Nyheim Hines, Mav. But
yeah.
I mean, honestly, those looked like the better running back. Taken from me, I had fucking Jonathan Taylor this whole time, and all I'm seeing is Nyheim Hines out there catching balls and running for tutties.
For sure.
And then, well, there's also the one with Mav doing the Hunter Henry one. I think Mav was playing a little more low key today. He was still making moves. He's like that silent assassin out there. Yeah, I don't know. The rest of them, were whatever. Like I said, I think we already touched on a lot of them. But what do you think, though? I mean, okay, let me ask you this. Out of all the teams that have traded and where we're at now, who do you think has improved the most? Like, you look at that team now and you're like, damn. They just completely either solidified or turned themselves around into looking like a hog.
There's like two teams that really like kind of catch my eye. So one is going to be your team, and the reason why I would say that is just Calvin Ridley coming back. If Chris Carson comes back, AJ Brown, if he starts just doing what he's supposed to be doing, like, and then you can throw Cooper Kupp in your flex there or something like that. Like, there's a strong possibility that, like, Kyler Murray is putting up ungodly numbers right now, and
yes, he is.
If you can get 30+ points from just your quarterback, and then you throw Alvin Kamara on top of that 20 points, like, you've already made it halfway to 100 points off 2 players, and that's not too far fetched to say. So I think your squad, you spend a lot of money, but there's a reason why you spent the money, and it makes sense. And when I look at it, I'm like, there's not a lot of fault here. The only fault is when does Chris Carson come back?
Faults or injuries.
Yeah. And then
all risk.
The next team I would be looking at is probably going to be Thug's team, and I hate to say it, the only downfall he has is that that flex really isn't solidified, and I would also say that his quarterback situation is not the best either. Having Big Ben, that's not the best schedule going forward. Also, he's been banged up a little bit, but having that Jacoby Myers as your flex, that's not going to be the best thing possible. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess Marquise Brown, but Marquise Brown has been so inconsistent with Lamar Jackson.
Super inconsistent.
There's 3 teams that I like. I just don't know. Like, I'm looking. I like if I had Steven's team in Madden, I would feel super good. But in fantasy, I just don't know.
So it's not Steven then?
No. Of course not.
Yeah, big shocker there.
Yeah, right. But then, it's hard to beat the 3-headed monster that fucking 3-headed monster that Nut has now. Like, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, and Russell Wilson, depending on what week and what matchup it is, that could be consistently 70 to 80 points just from those 3 guys every single week. So what, he throws in Tyler Boyd, oh cool, get a tutty. Rex Burkhead, oh, he gets a little freaking out route tutty.
We'll see if he can now produce that 0.2 points that he got last week.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Doesn't have that man.
But he also has some goody team defenses going into the playoffs too, so I like that. It's a nice little fallback.
Yeah.
There's 3 teams that I think are looking pretty juicy going into it. Mav really hasn't really done much, but he's doing little tiny pieces. He's made the playoffs. He's just doing things to kind of pick up the little pieces. He's just hoping that Aaron Jones rests up and Christian McCaffrey rests up, because going into the playoffs, if they're both healthy, that's probably the best 1-2 punch combo in running backs in the league.
Yeah, I actually have no problem with Mav's team outside of his health. Like you said, McCaffrey and you have Aaron Jones. If they would just do what they were supposed to do, get healthy, come back and teach, yeah, it's going to be really hard to compete with that.
And then, I guess, does Juju Smith-Schuster continue to actually do what he's doing? And Corey Davis, I just don't.
Yeah, Mav lacks a little bit of depth, but he's got some really good running backs that can carry him.
Which would make up for it, yeah. And he must really trust that Hunter Henry connection with that Justin Herbert, because that was $5 for Hunter Henry. I think, that was a little high for a tight end.
Well, I'm really looking at Scheimer's team here, too. I think Scheimer actually did a lot to solidify himself DK Metcalf, I think, is going to be top 5 the rest of the way. And who knows, you can get out of Ronald Jones, but if he gets Joe Mixon back healthy, I think Lamar is still going to be an elite option. Tyreek Hill, he's up there. I mean, as far as potential, he's a little more boom bust than, like, say, Devontae or,
That's the only thing I would say is the people on Scheimer's team.
TJ Hawkinson, I love, though.
Well, the problem with Scheimer's team is a lot of these guys, if they had a bad week on this, which a lot of these guys can do. Ronald Jones can definitely not have a good game. Lamar Jackson, we just saw against the Patriots, cannot have a good game. Joe Mixon, I had him earlier. There was plenty of times he didn't have a good game. DK just got shut down last week, which isn't going to happen too often. But then Tyreek Hill, he'll have one of those games where he doesn't get a tutty or something like that. So the only thing about it is if the stars align and a couple of those players, the boomer bust players that he has, they can score a shit ton of points, but they can also have a lot of these guys get a bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like a stupid. Well, I have no idea where we left off.
Yeah.
But
Technical difficulties.
I say, yeah, we're up to the 50-minute mark, so it's getting kind of late. Probably going to wrap this up now. Talk about the playoff implications, talk about the trades, talk about the matchups. This is a big week. These next couple of weeks, man, I am super curious what's going to happen. And you know what? I hope I make the playoffs based off of my squad that I didn't spend my money on.
Yeah.
There's some kind of satisfaction that comes along with that.
Well, you enjoy that. I'm going to be riding my fucking grave digger down, smashing everybody's car in my path.
Just driving down freaking Franklin Boulevard.
Like, oh, there's Steven on the side of the road. Goop, goop.
Yeah, there's that 370Z.
Gary's going to be driving his little Volkswagen Jetta like, get out of here, dude. And I'll be like, no, goop.
Yeah, well, dude, if you wreck me, bud, I'm in my Ford Focus, and I got a 5-star crash rating, so.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what everybody's driving out there. What am I talking about?
COD's driving that. COD's driving that Flintstone.
Yeah.
He got rid of the windshield wipers. Got rid of the wheels, bro. He got rid of
him and Kane are in there pedaling, trying to make it.
They just rode themselves right down into the old Sacco contingent.
Brandon and Gobby are out there like the Wright brothers, just trying to invent something. Trying to get something going.
B. Jones has literally been he's like Galileo, bro. He's been stuck on this.
They're trying to put together
this algorithm, this invention of the fucking propeller, man. He's like, I just can't get it.
I think it's more like they're trying to assemble together a tandem bicycle, and can't quite figure it out. One of the gears is missing.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah,
well,
it's gonna be a crazy couple weeks. I like what COD said. These playoffs are gonna have some fucking slugfest, and
trade deadline Thursday, 5:20 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hitting up some people tomorrow. I'm off work tomorrow, so hit me up.
I'm not off work, but hit me up.
Yeah.
I don't know what I have to offer anymore. I don't even know who's on my squad. I don't know where I'm at,
Yeah,
but
well,
hopefully in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, road to the playoffs starts now. 8 teams, but there's only 3 spots, right? I mean, 3 spots. There's only 5 spots available. 8 teams, 5 spots.
Is that right?
Yeah, because Mav, Calvin, and Scheimer have all locked down their spots.
Oh yeah, right.
So we got 8 teams fighting for 3 spots.
We'll see what also playoff the playoff seedings.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting who creeps up, who falls down a little bit there, even if you're locked in.
For sure.
But
all right.
Well, yeah, good shit, guys. What a fucking crazy day, crazy couple days, man. And I'm sure it's about to be even wackier.
Who knew fantasy football could get this crazy?
Yeah.
We've come a long way, boys. All
Yeah.
right.
Good luck to everybody out there except Nut.